Hey guys, it's John DeYoung, and today we're going to talk about cardio HIIT training, the high intensity interval training. Something you can do on a bicycle, elliptical, a treadmill. These are short spikes of high intensity with resistance, probably between 30 to 45 seconds, with a good passive recovery. These are kind of mimics resistance training. You're going to break down some muscle. You're going to recruit those type 2B muscle fibers. Not going to add a lot of stress to the body. This kind of training, this kind of cardio training is recommended for, if you see my body type video, those with excess cortisol, excess insulin, excess estrogen, where we have that body fat mass storage. A lot of HIIT training is recommended for all those body types. So it's less stress on the body, because if you stress your body going long distance, steady state long distance outside, you're going to add a little more cortisol, which will add more body fat. So the HIIT training, even outside of that body typing video, it's such a great way of getting cardio. There's something called a carryover effect, where doing intervals, not only are you burning calories while you're doing the exercise, but you're also going to burn calories that 24-hour repair process, because again, you're doing a lot of resistance and a lot of up tempo, so you're breaking down muscle on the cellular level. Say that 3 times. So you're burning fat and you're keeping your metabolism up during that. So HIIT training is the way to go. I'm going to show you today how to get into the gym. We're going to start on the bicycle first. We're going to do a 5-minute warm-up on whether it's treadmill, elliptical, or bicycle. 5-minute warm-up, 30-second interval with a 1.5-minute recovery. So the recovery should be passive. You want to catch your breath, because you want to make it all about the interval. The interval should be really difficult. You're going to see you shouldn't be able to talk while doing the interval. Okay, and we're going to get about 8 to 10 intervals in one sitting. So if you're doing an interval every other minute, you could do the math. You're probably getting a great workout in 20-25 minutes. So let me show you how to do it on the bike here. Okay, let's set the seat first. Straps are good, because again, you're going to really be pushing hard. I recommend using the straps on the pedals. And check the seat. You should have about, you don't want to go all the way down straight, and you don't want to be all the way up here too high. Okay? It's about 3/4, maybe 7/8 almost straight. So that's going to be your warm-up. You're going to warm up for about 5 minutes. Okay, and then once you hit the warm-up level, that's what you're going to return to. So say on this bike, I'm warming up at about a 7, okay? Don't worry so much about the RPMs. This is kind of just a warm-up. But when you get into your interval, the interval should be really hard. You can stay in the seat if you want, really dig, but the level has to increase probably double for what you're doing. So let me say that's a 7. Let me get into a 14. I'm going to push really hard for 30 seconds. And if you want to even go a little harder, you can get up in the seat or off the seat and push really hard. And that should be, again, a 30-second interval. So you're going to watch the clock, you can bring your phone, you can time it. So 30-second interval with a 1:20 recovery. And we're going to stop that right there. So on the bicycle, but it's a quick hit. Get in 10 intervals, 8 to 10 intervals, and then you're out. All right, let's try it out on the elliptical machine. Okay, the next piece of cardio equipment we can do the high intensity intervals on would be the elliptical machine. So you want to get on here. You're going to hit a manual start, okay? Let's hit the screen. Okay, we're going to play with, it's going to take you a little while to get used to each machine as far as what's your recovery level and what's your high interval, intense interval level. So it's going to take you a few times to play with that. So you can change the elevation, you can change the resistance. So again, you can do your 5-minute warm-up. I'm not a big fan of holding on to these moving arms. I'd rather you really work on a deep incline during your interval and deep resistance, hard resistance, to really hit that muscle deeply into the type 2B muscle fibers. So about a 5-minute warm-up, and then we're going to start your 30-second interval with a 1.5-minute recovery. And again, the interval should be really challenging. You can hold on to these handles here. I think this gets a little too much. I mean, you can try, but I think it's too many things going on. So after your 5-minute warm-up, you're going to change, boom. Increase your level, the angle, and the resistance. You can get your 30-second interval. And after your 30 seconds, you're going to bring it down to that warm-up level. You can do a 1.5-minute recovery. So a 30-second interval, minute and a half recovery. Maybe avoid the swinging arms. Really make the resistance hard. You're digging deep, and a deep incline. Okay, so this is called elevation and resistance. Pick one day bicycle, one day elliptical, one day treadmill. It's kind of nice to change the stimulus as well. So, okay, now we're gonna head to the treadmill. Okay, now the treadmill is a great spot to do high intensity interval training on. There's a few different ways of doing it. So again, start the treadmill. You can go flat, start on manual. We don't want any kind of fat burning program. This is great. This one's great because this one I can just hit the lever here for speed. So I'm going to start off with about a 3.5 walk and maybe just about a 3.5 gradient. Now the great thing about this, it doesn't always have to be about the speed. You can change the incline on the treadmill for that kind of high intensity interval, mixing elevation with speed. So your warm up, again, maybe a 1% grade, 3.0 speed. 5-minute warm up. I'm going to show you a few tricks. Now, once you get to your 5-minute warm up, that's when you can start your interval. Now, my interval changes a lot, depends how much I run. So we're going to push that up to about a 6.5 or a 7, and with a 3 or 4% grade. It shouldn't be a jog, by the way, it should be a sprint. Okay, now the key is 30 to 40 seconds max. Now to save yourself, what I like to do is step off after my interval and then bring the speed down. It's like driving a boat. So this becomes purely about the interval, not the up, not the down. Make sure before you step on, you've been back down to the 3.0 or 3.5 walking speed, okay? Now we're going to recover for a minute and a half. So 30-second interval. I want to show you that again. Obviously, I'm not doing the full interval. So I'm going to raise the gradient from a 1%, which is my warm-up or cool down between intervals. I'm going to go to about a 4. When you raise the elevation, it makes a huge difference. So don't go 8, 9, 10. That's really hard. Maybe a 4. Increase your speed. Bring it up to speed. It's about a 7 or an 8. Now you can start your time. Okay. Once you hit that 30 seconds, that hard interval, step off carefully, hold on, bring your speed down. Let's make sure that comes down to the walking speed. You don't want to go flying up. That's good. So it's a nice way to save yourself for the interval. I want the interval to be the hardest part of this. Not the jog up, not the cool down. And now we're going to recover for a minute. Get it? All right, 30-second interval, minute and a half recovery. In between each interval, step off, bring the speed down. Okay? Sometimes if you're doing crazy strong intervals, you can step off, get the speed up. Okay? And then once it's up to speed, you can hop on and start your time now. Okay, but right now, we're not going to do that. This is beginner level to intermediate, 8 to 10 intervals. You're going to find your speed and elevation, what really works for you. Okay, so you learn how to do high intensity intervals on a bicycle, on an elliptical trainer, and on a treadmill. Again, it's a 30-second interval, hard resistance, hard elevation, if it's on a treadmill, and a passive recovery. All right, so that kind of like a 2-to-1 ratio, if not a little more, in the recovery of 30-second interval, a minute and a half break, 30-second interval. Sometimes you go up to 40 seconds. So make the interval hard. If you can get 8 in one sitting, one day of cardio, that'd be great. Interval training can be done 2-3 days a week. Combine that with your resistance training. You're going to see a big difference, especially in body fat mass loss. And you know, you're gonna feel hungry after like the first 2 weeks of doing these 3 days a week. You're gonna really feel your metabolism rising, and so then you really gotta watch what you eat. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Give me the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and let me know how it goes. Send me some messages. I want to know how the intervals are going. Okay. All right. Thank you.